Ashore for 2 hours. Coast Guards recovered the boat earlier today, but rescue helicopters failed to find the rest of the crew. The boat had only one life jacket and distress flares had been too damp to use. The England Test cricketer Alan Lamb has been suspended by his county club, Northamptonshire. It was punishment for writing an unauthorised newspaper article accusing Pakistan's fast bowlers of tampering with the ball during their matches with England. The players criticised in the article, Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram, have strongly denied ever cheating and have said the allegations are deeply offensive.
Alan Lamb claims that at Lord's on Sunday he alerted the umpire to alleged tampering with the ball. Shortly before lunch, umpire Ken Palmer examined it with fellow umpire John Hampshire. Later, it emerged that the ball was changed during the lunch interval. So far, there's been no word from the match referee as to exactly why it had to be replaced. Waqar Younis went on to destroy the England batting again and clinched victory for Pakistan in the final over. In today's Daily Mirror, Alan Lamb gives detailed explanations of how the alleged ball tampering is carried out. The article was discussed by his club, Northamptonshire, today, who decided on the maximum fine.
This article was not approved or authorised in advance by any official of Northamptonshire, which represents a breach of TCCB regulations. Accordingly, it has been decided that Alan Lamb will be fined the maximum sum and will be suspended by the club for the next 2 matches.
Alan Lamb himself declined to say anything about the matter.
No comment.
The Test and County Cricket Board may also take disciplinary action, and it could affect his chances of selection for the India tour this winter.
His days have been numbered, I think, to play for England, and this is what he has done. Well, coming from a fellow cricketer, I think it's very damaging for the game of cricket. Very poor taste. Absolutely rubbish.
Pakistani officials insist their victory at Lord's was because they had the better bowlers. They've categorically denied ever cheating or tampering with any match ball and say such suggestions are a convenient excuse for the failure of England's batsmen.
The main news again, the Western warplanes will start enforcing the air exclusion zone over southern Iraq tomorrow. Newsnight on BBC 2 at 10:30 includes the latest from the Yugoslavian Peace Conference. That's the 9 o'clock news tonight.
Good evening now, the Midlands News. The IRA has said it planted the firebombs which brought Shrewsbury to a standstill yesterday.
Inside the town's castle this morning, fire officers and members of the anti-terrorist squad were still gathering evidence as the IRA issued its statement. It read, volunteers of the IRA placed a series of blast and incendiary devices which caused considerable damage. The statement was signed P. O'Neill, Irish Republican Publicity Bureau, Dublin. Shoppers and traders in Shrewsbury have been warned by police to be alert to the possibility of further devices. The damage at the Regimental Museum, which chronicles 300 years of the Shropshire Regiments, is substantial. Many irreplaceable items have been destroyed. The government is now being urged to help with the estimated £250,000 cost of renovation.
I'm absolutely determined that the Ministry of Defence will put the money forward so that we can demonstrate the terrorists that their action, though very inconvenient, has achieved absolutely nothing at all.
A second person has died following an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease at a hospital in Wolverhampton. The hot water system at the New Cross Hospital has been checked, but the source of the outbreak hasn't been identified. Further tests are still being carried out. 3 soldiers from the Staffordshire Regiment have been thrown out of the army for taking part in raids on fast food shops in Germany. Privates David Wintle and Lyndon Beardmore were also jailed for 5 years, and Private Andrew Emery for 2 years. The 3 who were stationed at Fellingbostel were found guilty of robbery, conspiracy and firearms offences. Finally, soccer and 3 matches involving local clubs tonight. 2 latest scores in the Premier League: Coventry City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and in Division 1, Leicester 2, Derby 2. And there's extra time being played in the Coca-Cola Cup first round, second leg, Stoke City 2, Preston 0. That's Midlands News for you this evening.
Hello, I bet you didn't think that August could get any worse. Yes, it can. Have a look at the satellite sequence. You'll see today's rain moving off into the North Sea, and just the tiniest break before tonight's rain rushes in from the Atlantic. Tonight's rain and wind. That's the way the weather chart looks. This set of fronts spreading wind and rain across the whole country in the next 24 hours. The front wriggling southward across the country later tomorrow and early on Friday. Lots and lots of isobars on the chart, so a windy spell of weather, but then a little ridge of high pressure coming in across the country for the weekend, and that could give some sunshine before the next lot of rain behind me at the moment comes in later on Sunday. A very mixed spell of weather. You can see today's rain moving off into the North Sea on the radar, and you also see tonight's rain getting in from the southwest, and that rain soon spreading into many western parts of Britain, with winds getting up towards gale force in exposed places later on in the night. And by the end of the night, the rain everywhere except perhaps Shetland, very light patches are holding in the southeast. A pretty mild night with all that side. A pretty breezy one too by the end of the night. And then tomorrow, a band of rain spreading northwards across Shetland quickly, then eastwards and southwards across the country, and followed by brighter weather with sunshine and heavy showers. Indeed, some of that rain itself could be pretty heavy, especially in western hills and coasts. By the end of the day, the rain, particularly in the southeast there, elsewhere sunshine and showers, but pretty windy with winds, big arrows you can see on the charts, winds getting up on exposed coasts and hills towards gale force. Big numbers too by the afternoon. Those are the lunchtime average fires. And those are the temperatures, pretty academic because it won't feel anything but cool in the wind, 17 in the west, 19 to 20 in the east. Quickly, early on Friday, that rain clearing away, then sunshine, but bands of showers coming through during the day, though a fine end to the day for many of us on Friday. On Saturday, I think, showers in the north, sunshine in the south, but more rain getting to the west later on Sunday.
A new season on One. Seeking out the rotten apples. Book off, go on, keep your head down. Anybody asks you don't know anything, you never said it. Tony Clark, CIB.
I know you, Clark, and I know where you're coming from. You're trying to make a name for yourself with this.
A detective between the lines. I'll make you stick to your own speed. I'm going to have him.
This is not our brief.
Our elders and betters want a result. So get one.
Between the Lines begins Friday the 4th of September on BBC One.
Now, the concluding part of Cross of Fire. The charismatic David Stevenson has created for himself a huge power base in the Ku Klux Klan. Drunk with success and impatient with his courtship of Madge Oberholzer, he has abducted and brutally assaulted her. Meanwhile, her distraught